Hello, goblins! And welcome to a book update video here on the channel for book 2 in the Lawful Times series. This video is going to be broken into 2 parts, basically the what's changed new plans and the where we're currently at sections. So let's go ahead and talk about the change of plans. Because I learned a lot from publishing Breach of Peace. Not only from a writing perspective, but a approacher of publishing perspective. And what I've realized is that self-publishing novellas, it's difficult and you can make money from it and it's fine to do so, but I would like to be able to deliver you more for this next release. So book 2 of Lawful Times is essentially going to take the planned 2 stories of the next 2 novellas and bring them into one, split into 2 parts. So now you're going to have book 2 of Lawful Times that will be broken up like this. You will have a prologue titled Aftermath, a part 1 titled Chapman, and a part 2 titled Wounds. The Aftermath is going to be a quick thing, just setting the stage for what is to come. Chapman will be reliving a lot of the events from Breach of Peace from Chapman's perspective, and then Wounds will be continuing on from there and wrapping up the story as I want it to be done. This way, it is actually a full novel length. This is going to be well into the 40,000 word plus full length novel count. And I wouldn't be doing this if it didn't also feel more appropriate for the story being told. I don't know how to put this outside of just, it feels more right from my creative standpoint to be delivering the full second half as my brain has just come to think of it as I've been writing it all at once into your hands. I like that Breach of Peace almost in my head feels like a car crash of chaos in terms of the events that unfold there. I really wanted it to feel that way. I wanted it to be like a just bulldozer of events, and then I get to deliver a hindsight relook through more calm eyes that understood more, and then an actual part 2 follow-up of the result of the, aftermath. So I'm happy as a creative, and it allows me to deliver a full-length novel into your hands. So win-win. The only thing I'm kind of sad about is it means I only get one more cover for now from Felix Ortiz for this planned duology. Once I get into my full-length epic fantasy series, Felix, I'm gonna hire you again. You're amazing, and I can't believe you're willing to make art for me. However you want to approach this as a reader, I don't mind. If you would like to think of them as 2 separate novellas in one, that's all right with me. If you'd like to look at it as one book broken into parts, I kind of am looking at that now because there's just tying in so close to each other that it makes more sense, and I've kind of leaned into that fact from a creative standpoint, especially pulling parallels between characters, but that's from my authorial standpoint of attempting to do these things, and it's all about how successfully I'm able to communicate it to you, the reader, so I gotta wait a few months to see how people react. Well, okay, let's go ahead and get into the fun bits here. The title's not what you think it's gonna be. I've been toying with the title, kept in doubt for a while, but the more I sat on it, the more it just kind of felt like a romance novel. It didn't fit thematically with what I was trying to convey here, and I didn't want to tell everyone right away that I wasn't feeling that, because I just was all right with there being a dummy title out there, because I have a paranoia of people trying to take my title. So the real title's already been registered and all of that, but it's actually going to be Rebels Creed. So Breach of Peace will be followed up in this duology by Rebels Creed, which will be broken into 2 parts, 3 if you want to count a prologue. Okay, this is going to just descend into me ranting about stuff, but let's go ahead and talk about that. The writing experience, the learning here has been so valuable in terms of looking back what I did with Breach of Peace, how I didn't quite handle characterization like I wanted to there. I was happy with Hlid's end result, but I don't feel like I conveyed Chapman consistently enough, and Samuel, in hindsight, he just doesn't have enough of his own. So I'm really going into book 2 trying to emphasize every character having full motivations, their own chock full of personality, and being consistent with how they're presented in the pages. And also getting a lot more into backstories, which is actually one of the benefits I have from no longer being constricted to the novella page count. I'm still fine with how Breach of Peace just feels like this rapid, but now that I'm doing the follow-up, I want to take this deep breath and allow you, the reader, to not only experience the characters a lot more carefully, but also the world. So this is going to be slower. I just got done writing a whole sequence that's really just exploring two friends, their relationship, a sex scene between them, and how society is going to handle casual relationships like this. I want to have those moments that I wasn't able to put in Breach of Peace because it didn't match the concept of that novella, but I'm really grateful that I've given myself time to really sit in this world that's been stuck in my head for so long. I know in Breach of Peace there's also that strange POV change up to Chapman that a lot of people have been like, why was that there? That was essentially me just trying to have a change of POV, see how I could execute it, and I wanted to leave it in because this is something I want feedback on that mass scale, and I don't think I realized how jarring it could come across. So now the multi-POV section in part 2, it's a lot more clear why everyone's getting a POV and every character is prominent and important, not just getting these quick cutaways like I put in the first book. And I'm also writing from a villain's perspective towards the later bits, and that's been difficult because it's a villain who's a super-powered supreme being, and Erickson's right. It's very, very hard to write from a POV of someone who's on that level, but I need to narratively. It has to be done, and so I've been really looking into how to do that, while simultaneously really looking into how to write steamy scenes. It's been a odd combination right there, but that's where I'm currently, as of writing this, really focusing, because I have a lot of those scenes written out, but I haven't gone through and really touched them up to be exactly how I want them. That's essentially what a draft one is for me. I just get the scene done in the most blanket, bland state, and then a draft 2 is me going through and actually putting in the personality, the character, the environment in a much more tangible way. So that's kind of where I am right now with book 2, and I'm still hoping Rebels Creed will be in your hand by December. That's what we're shooting for. And with it being both books in one, I hope you give me a little bit more leeway and understand if there's some delay, because I'm just putting a lot more out there, but that's the plan as of right now. You will have the full Lawful Times duology complete and in your hands, hopefully by the end of 2021, and from there I get to start writing within the same world my epic sea adventure. And the ending of Wounds will clearly set that up and tie in closer than I initially planned it to. Anyway guys, this has just been a writing update from the Disheveled Goblin. I hope that this very audience immersive writing experience is valuable in the way people want it to be. I know it seems like I'm just blatantly pointing out my mistakes, but I'm just doing that so other people can learn from me. I want this, again, to be a guide from people to walk in my steps in as close a way as they possibly can during this process I know a lot of people dream of going through. So if it's obnoxious, I apologize. I just want it to be a valuable resource. But let me know in the comments down below if I'm succeeding or not. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here. And have a good one, y'all. Peace.